Yo, what's up, everyone? It's your man, the Mega Power TV, coming at you on Patch Day, man. We got, what's it, Tuesday, November the 7th. And, my reaction videos have been popping off. And I was like, you know what, guys? It's a good time to make another video, kind of with my thoughts on, as we head into the new patch. You know how a lot of times people will give, like, their early thoughts on a patch? Well, let's go back, talk about what we've just played through 10.1. I know there's been other like mini updates in between it, so we're just going to kind of take a look at it as a whole big picture and just kind of give some thoughts on it now that we've pretty much finished it, right? And here we are going to go into the Emerald Dream later today. And my camera's not focusing. It's focusing, but because it's early morning, it shadows me out trying to focus in, so whatever. Anyways, let's take a look back at 10.1. Kind of the main, obviously, part of it has been Aberrus, right? The Shadow Crucible, the raid. Kind of what are my thoughts on the Shadow Crucible, Aberrus raid? Storyline-wise, I think it was a bit of a letdown. We've got to Sarkareth there, and we killed him. He gets to the end, and we're at the end. There wasn't enough story in the Black Dragon fight. We got to kill Neltharion, but it was really just an imposter Neltharion, right? What was it good overall? Here's what I enjoyed about it. I actually enjoyed that the difficulty wasn't too hard, and what I mean by that is like in sort of these filler raids with a non-main enemy like Sarkareth, we don't really need it to be super tough. Like, do I think that Farak should be super hard? I do. So that's kind of what I mean by that. It's like on the levels of if we're gonna build up to all the aspects and the one I can't even say her name right now. My brain is not working this morning. The ice dragon joining us. Oh god. People in the comments are just gonna be coming for me too. They're gonna be like, this dude doesn't even play World of Warcraft. He can't even think of her name right now. Even though I've been playing World of Warcraft longer than all of them. So if you're coming for me in the comments, man, I've been playing World of Warcraft since before release date. So bring it on, boys. Anyways, but yeah, I had my copy on day one, CompUSA, back in 2004. So I actually bought two of them at the time because there was a World of Warcraft game copy shortage, and so I sold one on eBay. Anyways, actually I sold both of them and I made a profit off of it, and then went back and bought another one a few weeks later because I had heard that they were short on World of Warcraft copies, and yet the CompUSA I work next to just always had them in stock because no one actually went to that CompUSA, and then eventually went out of business. But I could always get any PC copy of a game every time right there. So Aberrus, I thought it was okay overall. I would have liked to have delved a little more story into Neltharion and what he was up to. I would have liked to have seen it get tied into Nefarian. A little more story as to why he abandoned it. Just to get, kind of tie some more lore into the Black Dragon flight. It was just like, yeah, we're there. These were Neltharian's like rejected experiments, and he's gone. And we haven't talked about why he left. Has he ever come back? You've got people, his creations there, his guy watching the place, like, just like, oh, they've just been here, right? So would have liked to see a little more storyline in it. But overall, I think it was okay. I think it's a good. I'll say this: I did a lot of. I had to do like on my alts and stuff, a lot of looking for raid on it, and man, at least you can actually get the Sarkareth down. Like I remember having to try to do Razageth on LFR on my alts, and that was a nightmare. It was like not gonna happen. I even tried it last night on my alt, and Sarkareth was tough. We didn't get it down in the one attempt, and I was just like, I gotta go, guys. I'm out of here. So the LFR pain that for your alts is always fun. So, anyways, that's kind of my just quick thoughts on Aberrus. What else did we have? We saw the return of tier sets. Or not necessarily return, but more continuation of tier sets, which I think is a good thing. Personally, hot take, this is going to get people in the comments mad. I don't like transmog. I think transmog shouldn't be in the game. I think you should just have to deal with the armor sets. And I think tier sets should be really good, so people have to collect the tier set and wear it. I think that's the part where everyone is, collecting their silly Halloween costumes instead of using their items that are in the game. But that's my take on it. But I would say that the items or the tier sets were really good overall. I thought the priest tier set was the best personally. Rogue tier set was okay. Actually didn't mind the rogue overall, so I'm on my rogue right now. And it's alright. It could be like the updated, the full version one is a little more purple to it, which is fine. But here we are running through Valdrakken, and I think this looks pretty good, honestly. So, not going to complain about it too much. I think it was good. Priest is good. I thought the Paladin one wasn't that great, which, is kind of like my primary alt. But definitely, I thought Priest was top tier. Mythic Plus in this season. I don't do Mythic Plus. It's a snooze fest. I have literally no interest in it. It's part of the game that I wish. I just have literally no interest in it at all. I'm glad that people can do it, right? It gets people going to dungeons, but not something I'm ever interested in. Other stuff that we saw in the world for rack assaults, that was sort of at the beginning of the patch, and then it just became like a weekly thing that you had to do. I thought it was fine. The idea was that he's been ravaging, the Dragon Isles during this time, and you didn't really get that sense of that, but overall, I thought it was fine for a World Quest stuff. I would go do it every week. I thought it was fine. And I kind of liked when you had to get the so many tokens, turn it in, get that token, repeat. More tokens, turn in, repeat. It wasn't too bad, and you could get it done pretty quick. And it was just a fun little world thing. It's always fun to see people out in the world, so I guess that part of it was cool. Then later on in the patch, we had dream surges. I guess did we have time rifts as well, right? I thought the time rift thing was really dumb, but I did it every time, so I don't know what that tells you, but I went and did it because it was something fun to do, and I appreciate that the difficulty wasn't very hard for like a world event. It just seems so silly, like, oh, we're in the Dragon Soul, or we're in front of the Lich King. It didn't give you this scope or to why this is happening or why it's important. But in general, I just don't really like messing with timelines and time travel. You see it happening in like the Mortal Kombat universe right now, and it always gets so silly. And I know World of Warcraft has gone back in time multiple times, but the stuff with the Bronze Dragonflight and now Iridikron and the infinite timeline, it gets so silly when you get into these timeline things. It's just unnecessary, like filler stuff. Like you could literally just do like, instead of all this stuff, I wish they would just do like a plain world and be like, hey, here's the Scarlet Crusade raid. Why? Because it's just the Scarlet Crusade raid without all this intricate, like 10 different Morchies and Chromies and all this stuff. And the Infinites need Morazan. Well, why do they need Morazan so bad? We already have Nose Dormu, and yet he needs like 5 other aspects and Varanoth to take down Farak, who consumed some Shadow Flame. So why is Morazan gonna be so powerful? It's the same dude, right? He's just now an infinite, right? And I don't really see the connection there. Or where are the good chromies to help with the current chromie in the timeline? There's so many things that open up that it just is annoying. So stay away from timeline stuff and messing with that. Dream surges. It was a nice little catch-up mechanic. Like if you needed some gear, I used it on like a couple rings that I hadn't been able to upgrade for certain, like for my alts or even on my rogue, because I wasn't really putting a lot of time in on them. I was doing more PvP towards the end of the season on my paladin, which was pretty fun. But I actually like the dream surge mechanic of like, hey, go do this, collect some tokens, you can get some upgrade gear, or you get the free one piece that you can upgrade. What was it, like, you know, a champion level Dreambound Signet. I didn't even upgrade it, but it's like 415 right off the drop, so that's pretty nice. Easy. That, and I appreciate them doing stuff like that just to be able to upgrade stuff quicker. PvP's in kind of a weird spot right now. If you do solo shuffle, it's just literally 3-on-3, just guys beating on each other. No one's running out of mana, no one's dying, you're just running around in circles attacking each other, and no one's health gets low. Someone finally starts to get low, everyone knows to stun, and then they do their heals, and everyone has to go through their cooldowns. And then after everyone blows through their cooldowns, maybe someone finally dies. And my understanding is at the upper levels, I see a lot of like people that are cheating. I don't really pay attention to it, so I don't know how they're cheating, but I'm not surprised. So I really wish that would get shaken up a little bit. I don't know how to do that necessarily, but PvP definitely needs a fix. Everything, healers should run out of mana. Everything shouldn't have an interrupt, a stun, all this stuff. It's really frustrating right now. Other stuff that we saw, heritage armor quest lines. I didn't do any of them, but I think it's cool. It's a nice little side thing. Dawn of the Infinite heroics. I didn't do those on Mythic Plus, but it was cool to see those added to heroics. I thought they were cool. Nothing too exciting. Again, going back in time with stuff, which not a big fan of storyline wise, but honestly they were good dungeons, I thought, overall. I picked up a trinket out of there last night, actually just running it for fun. And I only did it to get the quest knocked off my board, so those are done. So overall thoughts on 10.1, kind of covering all the little things. You know, there was a little balancing. We're not going to talk about all the class updates, just kind of all the content that was there. Overall, where would I put it? It wasn't an S tier patch. It wasn't an A tier patch. We were in Avarice for a really long time. I give it a solid B, like a B tier patch. There was room for improvement, but honestly, I thought it was a pretty good retail patch. I tried getting some of my buddies to come back to the game, and one of them actually did. And I'm like, hey, the game is in a pretty good place right now. And so, and the Flight Stone upgrade was a big thing, right? To be able to use your Flight Stones to upgrade, you know, from the cavern, from all the world quests and stuff. So like overall, I think that's where it pushes it in that B category, where like gearing is awesome right now if you're a casual player, and that's what I am. And so I think it's really good, and I'd like to see them just kind of continue with that further. Honestly, like if the Emerald Dream patch is just more of the same, sign me up for it. I'm all for it. Do I think there's some room for improvement? I do, obviously. But honestly, I think we had a really good patch. I'd like to see it going forward, even if this is kind of what we're stuck with. I'm good with it, and I'll live with it. And so I'm excited to see what Guardians of the Dream comes in. Overall thoughts. Let's get transmog out of the game, guys, and let's fix these classes and make PvP more fun. I know PvP doesn't have to be balanced at all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying everything doesn't need. People need to go out of mana. People need to die. People need to not have 10 different cooldowns, 8 different abilities, offensive, defensive, countering. It's got to change. And there's times when I run into random BGs that like all of a sudden I get blown up by something, and I'm like, what just happened there? I don't understand. But like, it doesn't happen in solo shuffle. I don't get it. Like, but I run into guys with like a million health, and I have all like right now I have like the basic conquest gear, and I have like 600 some thousand health, and I'm like, well, guy's got a million health. Like the numbers are just out of control right now. But man, we had a good patch. Excited to see what's going forward. Man, hit that subscribe button, comment on stuff, even if you don't like the channel and you don't like what I have to say, man. You guys have been blowing up my phone with my comments and some of my other videos, so bring that energy. I'll see you guys in the patch today. It's your man, the Mega Power, and I'm out.